Commander Daeho Park stood at the window of the control room. His eyes were tired. He had not slept for 3 days. Outside, the city of Seoul burned. Black smoke rose from buildings that were now just broken stone and metal. Another report. "Sir," said Lieutenant Soo-Jin Kim. Her voice was quiet but steady. She handed him a tablet. Daeho looked at the screen. The news was bad. 3 human colonies were gone. Millions of people dead. All in just 3 weeks since the aliens had come. "They call themselves the Galactic Empire," Soo-Jin said. "Their ships appeared without warning." Daeho nodded. He remembered that day clearly. The massive ships had simply appeared in Earth's skies. No signals, no messages. They just started to attack. "What do our weapons do against them?" he asked. "Nothing good, sir," Soo-Jin replied. "Our best missiles bounce off their shields. Our fighter jets get shot down before they get close." The room was filled with tired soldiers. Some typed at computers. Others talked on phones. All had the same worried look on their faces. "The aliens think we are weak," said Daeho. "They laugh at our attempts to fight back." On a large screen on the wall, they could see live video from a drone. It showed alien soldiers walking through the ruins of a town. The aliens were tall, at least 7 feet. They wore armor that shined like metal but moved like water. Their helmets had no face, just a smooth surface that reflected light. "They walk like they own our planet already," said Soo-Jin with anger in her voice. "They have taken 17 other worlds before ours," said Daeho. "To them, this is just another easy win." An older man rushed into the room. His white coat was dirty, and his hair was a mess. He carried a box under his arm. "Commander Park," he said out of breath. "I need to show you something." "Dr. Lee," said Daeho. "What have you found?" Dr. Ha-Jun Lee put the box on a table and opened it. Inside was a piece of alien armor. It was small, maybe part of a glove or boot. "Where did you get this?" asked Daeho, picking it up. It felt strange in his hand, not quite solid, not quite liquid. "A dead alien," said Dr. Lee. "One of our soldiers got lucky with a direct shot to a joint in the armor." Daeho turned the piece over in his hands. "Can this help us?" "Maybe," said Dr. Lee. "I've been studying it for days. It's like nothing we have on Earth. The aliens come from a different part of the galaxy. Their science is far ahead of ours." "Then we have no hope," said a young soldier from across the room. "I didn't say that." Dr. Lee smiled for the first time. "They may be advanced, but they have never been to Earth before. They don't know our planet like we do." Dr. Lee took back the armor piece and held it up to the light. "This material exists in what we call a quantum state. It's partly solid matter and partly energy. That's why our weapons don't work well against it. But I found something interesting." He walked to a computer and showed them a chart with many lines and numbers. "When I exposed the armor to certain sounds and radiation that are common on Earth, it changed. It became unstable." Soo-Jin leaned closer to look at the chart. "What does that mean exactly?" "It means," said Dr. Lee with excitement in his voice, "that we might have found a way to break their armor, to get through their strongest defense." Daeho felt hope for the first time in weeks. "What do you need?" "A lab, equipment, and time," said Dr. Lee. "But not much time. I'm close to a breakthrough." "You'll have everything you need," said Daeho. "Lieutenant Kim, make sure Dr. Lee gets whatever he asks for." As Dr. Lee left with Soo-Jin, Daeho turned back to the window. In the distance, he could see the lights of alien ships hovering over what was left of the city. "We were not ready for them," he said to himself. "But maybe we have something they're not ready for either." 2 days later, Daeho visited Dr. Lee's underground lab. It was deep beneath the mountains, safe from alien attacks. Scientists and engineers worked at different stations. Some built devices, others ran tests on computers. "Show me what you found," said Daeho. Dr. Lee led him to a sealed room with thick glass walls. Inside was a larger piece of alien armor, a complete helmet. Next to it was a strange machine with speakers and what looked like a modified microwave emitter. Watch, said Dr. Lee. He pressed some buttons on a control panel. The machine turned on. It made no sound that Dae-ho could hear, but he could feel a slight pressure in his ears. The lights in the room dimmed slightly. At first, nothing happened to the helmet. Then small lines appeared on its surface. Tiny cracks that grew larger by the second. The smooth metal-like material began to lose its shine. The cracks spread like a spider web. Then, with a sound like breaking glass, the helmet shattered into hundreds of pieces. Dr. Lee turned off the machine. That, he said with a smile, is what happens when their alien technology meets Earth's unique mix of sound waves and radiation. Dae-ho stared at the broken helmet. You did it. We did it, said Dr. Lee. My team worked day and night. The device is simple, really. It creates a specific frequency that makes the quantum state of their armor collapse. Can we make more of these devices? Asked Dae-ho. We already are, said Dr. Lee. We can make them small enough for soldiers to carry. We can even modify satellites to broadcast the frequency over large areas. Soo-jin entered the room with a tablet. Sir, we just got word. The aliens are gathering their forces. They're planning to attack our remaining major cities all at once. They want to end this war quickly. Dae-ho looked at the broken helmet, then at Dr. Lee's machine. They think we're beaten, he said. They think we have nothing left to fight with. He turned to Soo-jin. Get our best teams together. I want these devices in the field as soon as possible. Yes, sir, said Soo-jin. What will you call it? Asked Dr. Lee. The device, I mean. Dae-ho thought for a moment. Call it Project Glass, because that's what their unbreakable armor will be to us now. Just glass waiting to be shattered. As Dae-ho left the lab, he felt something he had not felt since the aliens arrived. Not just hope, but belief. Belief that humans might win this fight after all. The Galactic Empire had laughed at Earth's defenses. Soon, they would learn that coming to Earth was their biggest mistake. The war for Earth was about to change. Captain Ji-woo Kang pressed her body against the broken wall. She motioned for her team to stay low. 6 men and women in dark combat gear froze in place. They were all that remained of her unit after the battle for Busan. How close are we? She whispered to Sergeant Min-ho Choi, who checked a small screen on his wrist. 200 meters to the target, he replied. The alien command post is just beyond that hill. Ji-woo nodded. The morning sun was starting to rise. They needed to move fast before full daylight made them easy to spot. The ruins of Busan stretched around them. Once a busy port city with tall buildings and crowded streets, now it was just broken concrete and twisted metal. The aliens had destroyed most of it in their first attack 3 weeks ago. Now they used the city's central park as their command center. Remember, Ji-woo said to her team, this is not an attack mission. We place Dr. Lee's device, activate it, and observe. No heroics. They all nodded. Each soldier carried a standard weapon, but they knew these would do little against the alien armor. The real weapon was in the pack on Ji-woo's back, a device that Dr. Lee had worked on day and night. It looked simple, a metal box with speakers and a special radiation emitter. But it might be Earth's best hope. Move out, she ordered. The team made their way through the ruins, staying in shadows, avoiding open spaces. Twice they had to hide as alien patrol ships passed overhead. The ships were silver and smooth, like liquid metal shaped into aircraft. They made almost no sound as they flew. After an hour of careful movement, they reached their target location, a half-collapsed building that gave a clear view of the alien command post. Up there, Ji-woo pointed to a spot on the 3rd floor. We'll set up the device where it has a direct line to their position. The team climbed carefully through the damaged building. Pieces of concrete fell away under their feet. The stairs were gone in many places, forcing them to climb using ropes in their hands. When they reached the 3rd floor, Min-ho set up a perimeter with the other soldiers while Ji-woo took out Dr. Lee's device. She placed it near a window that faced the alien command post. Through her binoculars, she could see at least 30 aliens moving around their base. Their camp was organized with perfect straight lines. The aliens themselves moved with machine-like precision. Their armor shined in the morning light, especially their helmets, which had no visible opening for eyes or mouth, just smooth, reflective surfaces. "They act like they own this planet already," whispered Minho, who was watching through his own binoculars. "They've taken over 17 other worlds before ours," Jiwoo replied. "For them, this is just routine." She finished setting up the device, then connected it to a small power source. A green light turned on, but the device made no sound that human ears could hear. "Everyone back," she ordered. "Minimum safe distance is 50 meters. The team retreated deeper into the building. Jiwoo took out a small remote control. "Now Wait," she said. "Dr. Lee said it might take time for the effect to build up." They watched the alien camp through their binoculars. For several minutes, nothing happened. The aliens continued their activities, moving supplies, checking equipment, sending signals to their ships above. Then Jiwoo noticed something strange. One alien officer stopped walking suddenly. He stood still, then reached up to touch his helmet. His movements became jerky, not smooth like before. "Look," she said to Minho. "Something's happening." The alien officer's helmet was changing. The smooth surface now had tiny lines appearing on it, like cracks in glass. The lines spread quickly, covering the entire helmet. Other aliens noticed and moved toward their officer, but then stopped as their own helmets began to show the same cracks. Through her binoculars, Jiwoo could see panic in the aliens' movements now. They were touching their helmets, looking at each other, moving quickly but without purpose. Then, with a sound that carried even to where the humans were hiding, the first helmet shattered completely. Pieces fell away, revealing the alien's face for the first time. It had pale blue skin and large black eyes. Its mouth opened in what looked like a scream, but no sound came out. The alien fell to the ground and did not move again. All around the camp, the same thing was happening. Helmets cracked, shattered, fell apart. Aliens dropped to the ground as Earth's air touched their exposed skin. "It works," Jiwoo breathed, unable to believe her eyes. Dr. Lee was right. Their armor has a weakness. Minho was already talking into his radio, reporting what they were seeing to headquarters. The other soldiers were smiling, some even laughing with relief. "How many are affected?" asked a voice from the radio. Commander Daeho Park himself, Jiwoo, counted quickly. "At least 20 have lost their helmets completely. The others are retreating, but their helmets are showing cracks too." "Excellent," said Commander Park. "Hold your position, record everything. We need to know exactly how the device affects them and how quickly." For the next hour, Jiwoo and her team watched and recorded as the alien camp fell into chaos. Some aliens managed to retreat to their ships, but many lay motionless on the ground, their advanced armor now useless. "What happens next?" asked Minho as the sun rose higher in the sky. "Now we learn," said Jiwoo. "We learn everything we can about them, their weapons, their ships, their weakness." She looked at the simple device that had caused so much damage to the supposedly invincible alien force. "And then," she continued, "we take back our planet." Later that day, as they returned to the hidden human base with their recordings and the device, news came in from around the world. Similar tests had been conducted in other cities. All reported the same results. The alien armor, which had made them seem invincible, had a fatal flaw when exposed to Earth's unique combination of sound and radiation. In the underground command center, Commander Park met with Jiwoo's team personally. His face showed the first real hope since the invasion began. "Your mission has given us something we didn't have before," he told them. "A chance. Now we move to Phase 2. On screens around the room, they could see the effect of their discovery. Alien forces were pulling back from cities around the world, retreating to safer positions away from human populations. "They're afraid," said Jiwoo, watching the screens. "For the first time, they're afraid of us." Commander Park nodded. "Fear is good. Fear will make them careful, and careful enemies make mistakes." He turned to face all the soldiers and scientists in the room. "Today we discovered their weakness," he said loudly. "Tomorrow we begin to take back our world." A cheer filled the room. For the first time since the aliens arrived, humans had hope. The war for Earth had changed. General Yejun Kim stood in front of the large wall screen. Maps of Earth showed red dots where alien forces were still strong, and green dots where humans had pushed them back. 1 month ago, the screen had been mostly red. Now, more and more green appeared every day. "The aliens are retreating to the mountains," said Colonel Yoon Ji-yoon, pointing to a cluster of red dots in the Himalayan region. "They've abandoned most major cities." "Why the mountains?" asked General Kim. "What's so special about that area, Dr. M?" Ha-Jun Lee stepped forward. The scientist looked tired but excited. "They're trying to shield themselves from our sound and radiation weapons. The mountains block some of the signals. They're also working on changing their armor. We've seen new versions that resist our effects for longer." "How long until they find a complete fix?" asked the general. "Hard to say," Dr. Lee replied. "Maybe 2 weeks. They learn very quickly. They're already making their helmets thicker, adding layers that absorb the harmful frequencies." Unary. Kim turned to face the room full of military leaders and scientists. "Then we attack now, while we still have the advantage." On a table in the center of the room was a model of Earth. Small lights showed the positions of both human and alien forces. "Our plan is called Operation Soundwave," explained Colonel Yoon. "We've modified commercial satellites to broadcast Dr. Lee's frequencies worldwide. Every alien position will be hit at the same time." "And our ground forces?" asked General Kim. "Ready to move in once their armor fails," said Commander Dae-ho Park, who had just entered the room. "Captain Ji-woo Kang's team will lead the assault on their mountain base." General Kim nodded. "How soon can we begin?" 3 days, said Dr. Lee. "We need time to calibrate all the satellites and prepare the special emitters for our aircraft." 3 days it is, said the general. "Let's take back our planet." In the alien command ship high above Earth, Commander Vextar stood before the Supreme Leader's hologram. The blue light flickered as it crossed millions of miles of space. "Explain this failure," demanded the Supreme Leader, their voice deep and angry even through the hologram. "The humans found a weakness in our armor," said Vextar. "They use sound waves and radiation that disrupt the quantum field. Our scientists are working on a solution." "You told me Earth would fall in 1 month," said the Supreme Leader. "You said the humans were primitive and weak." "They were supposed to be," Vextar replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "All our intelligence showed they had no defense against our technology. No other species has discovered the quantum weakness so quickly." The Supreme Leader was silent for a moment. "Can you still complete the conquest?" "Yes," said Vextar. "We need time to adapt our armor. Our main force has retreated to the mountains where we can work safely." "You have 1 more chance," said the Supreme Leader. "Fail me again and you will not return home alive." The hologram vanished. Vextar turned to his lieutenant. "Double the work shifts in the labs," he ordered. "We need the new armor ready as soon as possible." "Sir," said the lieutenant, "our scientists request permission to return to the mothership to continue their work. They say they would have better equipment there." Vextar considered this. Retreat was shameful, but extinction was worse. "Prepare evacuation plans," he said finally. "But we hold our position until the new armor is ready. We will not run from these primitives." 3 days later, Operation Soundwave began. Around the world, satellites changed their positions. Their usual signals stopped, replaced by the special frequencies Dr. Lee had discovered. In the command center, General Kim watched as the first reports came in. "Satellite coverage at 100%, reported a technician. "All alien positions are within range." "Launch the aircraft," ordered the general. Across the globe, specially equipped planes took off. They carried powerful emitters that would strengthen the satellite signals. Their flight paths were carefully planned to cover every known alien base. In the Himalayan mountains, Captain Ji-woo Kang and her team moved into position. They wore new uniforms designed to protect them from alien weapons. Each soldier carried one of Dr. Lee's devices as backup. "The main signal will come from above," Ji-woo told her team. Our job is to move in once their armor fails and secure their command center. We need their technology and any information we can find. Sergeant Min Ho Choi checked his weapon. Do you think they'll surrender when they see their armor doesn't work? No, said Jiwoo. They'll fight harder. Wounded animals always do. At exactly noon, the attack began. The satellites broadcast their signals at full power. The aircraft reinforced the effect over key targets. Around the world, human forces watched and waited. In the alien mountain base, the effect was immediate. Alarms sounded as sensors detected the harmful frequencies. Soldiers rushed to put on their new, thicker helmets, but even these began to show small cracks after a few minutes. Commander Vextar stared at the reports coming in from around the planet. Everywhere, Imperial forces were under attack. The humans had somehow managed to target every position at once. Impossible, he said. How did they coordinate such an attack? They were fighting with sticks just a few weeks ago. Sir, said his lieutenant, our new armor is failing too. The humans have increased the power of their signals. We need to evacuate now. Vextar slammed his fist on the console. Send the emergency signal to the fleet. Tell them we need immediate extraction. As alien ships began to descend to rescue their forces, human aircraft moved to intercept them. The planes couldn't match the aliens' speed or weapons, but they didn't need to. They just needed to get close enough for their sound emitters to affect the ship's hulls. Captain Jiwoo and her team watched from their hidden position as chaos broke out in the alien base. Helmets cracked and shattered. Aliens fell or ran for their ships. Some fired wildly with their weapons, but with no clear targets. Move in, ordered Jiwoo. Secure the command center. The team rushed forward, using the confusion to their advantage. Most aliens were too busy trying to escape to put up much resistance. Those that did fight found their weapons less effective, as the quantum fields that powered them were disrupted by the same frequencies that affected their armor. Jiwoo reached the central building first. Inside, screens showed the status of alien forces worldwide. Almost all showed red alerts. Look for their commander, she told her team, and download everything from their computers. In a back room they found Commander Vextar. His helmet was newer than the others, with extra layers of protection, but even it showed signs of cracking. You, he said when he saw Jiwoo, how did your kind discover the quantum weakness so quickly? It took the Centauri 5 years. We're human, she replied simply. We adapt. We survive. Vextar reached for a weapon, but Minho was faster. The bow. Alien commander fell, his helmet finally shattering as it hit the floor. All clear, reported Jiwoo into her radio. Command center secured. The alien leader is down. Across the globe, similar reports came in. The Imperial forces were in full retreat. Their ships, affected by the same weapon that destroyed their armor, struggled to escape Earth's atmosphere. In the main command center, General Kim received the news with quiet satisfaction. It worked, he said to Dr. Lee. They're running. Not for long, said the scientist. They'll be back with better armor and more ships. This was just their first wave. Then we'll be ready, said General Kim. We have their technology now. We have time to prepare. Commander Dae-ho Park looked at the screen where alien ships were shown leaving Earth orbit. They came here thinking we were easy prey, he said. They leave knowing better. Humanity will not fall so easily. For the first time in months, the people of Earth could look up at the sky without fear. The first battle for their world was over, but the war had just begun. 6 months passed since the aliens left Earth. Humans used this time well. Scientists studied the alien technology left behind. Engineers built new weapons and ships based on what they learned. Soldiers trained to use these new tools. But everyone knew the aliens would return. They would come back with better armor and more ships. They would be angry and ready for revenge. Commander Dae-ho Park stood in the new Global Defense Center built under the mountains of Taiwan. Around him, screens showed the status of Earth's defenses, ships in space, bases on the ground, weapons, ready to fire. Our early warning system just picked up something, said Lieutenant Soo-jin Kim, now promoted to captain after her brave actions in Seoul. Multiple objects entering the solar system. They're big and moving fast. How many? asked Daeho. At least 50 ships, said Sujin. Much bigger than the ones we saw before. Daeho nodded. They've sent their real fleet this time. Call General Kim. We need to activate the defense plan. Across the globe, sirens sounded. People moved to underground shelters. Soldiers reported to their stations. The new Earth Defense Fleet, built from captured alien technology, prepared to launch. Their ships will reach Earth orbit in 6 hours, reported Dr. Ha-Jun Lee, who now led the science division. Our sensors show they've modified their hulls. They're using a different quantum field. Will our weapons still work? Asked Daeho. Not as well, said Dr. Lee. We need to adjust our frequencies, and they'll be ready for our tricks this time. General Ye-Jun Kim entered the room. All screens now showed the approaching alien fleet. Where will they land? He asked. Based on their approach vector, they're heading for the Taiwan Ridge, said Sujin, pointing to a map. The highest point in these mountains. It gives them a perfect view of the surrounding area. They want to set up a command post where they can see everything, said Daeho. Just like they did in Busan. Then we defend the ridge, said General Kim. Captain Kang's team is already in position there. High in the mountains of Taiwan, Captain Jiwoo Kang and her team prepared their defenses. The ridge was a narrow strip of land between 2 steep drops. Anyone who controlled it could see for miles in every direction. All teams in position, reported Sergeant Min-Ho Choi. The sound emitters are hidden and ready. Jiwoo looked through her binoculars at the clear blue sky. Soon it would be filled with alien ships. They'll expect our sound weapons this time, she said. They'll have better armor. We have new tricks too, said Min-Ho with a smile. Their new weapons combined the sound technology with focused energy beams. They had also learned how to jam the aliens' communication systems. Remember, Jiwoo told her team, we're not trying to win here. We just need to hold them long enough for the main fleet to get in position. The first alien ships appeared 3 hours later. They looked different from the ones before. Darker, with thicker hulls and strange patterns on their surfaces. They moved slowly, scanning the ground below. They're being careful, said Min-Ho. They're looking for traps. Good, said Jiwoo. Let them look. Our emitters are well hidden. 5 large ships landed on the ridge. Smaller ships circled overhead, weapons ready. Ramps opened and alien soldiers marched out. Their armor was different too, bulkier with extra layers around the helmets and joints. They've learned, whispered Jiwoo. Through her special visor, she could see the alien commander. He stood taller than the others, his armor decorated with symbols of rank. He looked out across the mountains and valleys below. They're setting up a command post, she reported through her radio. Just as we predicted. Hold position, came the reply from Daeho. Wait for the signal. The aliens worked quickly. They set up equipment, built defensive walls, and placed their own weapons around the ridge. They moved with confidence, sure of their superior technology. Look at them, said Min-Ho. They still think they'll win easily. They're about to learn another lesson, said Jiwoo. From their hidden position among the rocks, they could hear the alien commander speaking to his troops. Their translation devices picked up his words. These humans are nothing, he said, his voice filled with contempt. Primitive mammals barely out of their planetary cradle. Their technology is centuries behind ours. The alien soldiers laughed. The sound was strange, like metal scraping on stone. This planet will be ours before the next sunrise, continued the commander. Their little trick with sound waves won't work this time. Our new armor is impervious to their primitive weapons, Jiwoo smiled. That's what you think, she whispered. The signal came an hour later, a simple code transmitted to all Earth forces. Glass breaks. Now, said Jiwoo. Min-Ho pressed a button on his wrist device. Around the ridge, hidden emitters activated. They made no sound that humans could hear, but they sent out powerful signals on multiple frequencies at once. At first, nothing happened. The aliens continued their work, unaware of the invisible attack. Then one soldier stopped moving. He reached up to touch his helmet. Others noticed and moved toward him. Their new armor is stronger, said Minho, watching through his visor. It's taking longer to affect them. Keep the emitters running, said Jiwoo. And prepare the energy, weapons. Slowly the effects became visible. Tiny lines appeared on the aliens' helmets, spreading like cracks in ice, but these were smaller than before and took longer to grow. The alien commander noticed what was happening. He barked orders and soldiers began to search for the source of the attack. They're looking for the emitters, said Jiwoo. Time for Phase 2. She activated her radio. This is Ridge Team. Begin Phase 2. From hidden positions around the mountain, energy weapons fired. They sent focused beams that hit the tiny cracks in the alien armor, making them grow faster. The alien soldiers fired back, their weapons tearing up rocks and trees, but they couldn't find the human positions. Their helmets are still not breaking, reported Minho with concern. The new armor is too strong. Jiwoo watched as the alien commander ordered his troops to retreat to their ships. They're leaving. Signal the fleet. High above Earth, the human defense fleet moved into position. Led by General Kim aboard the flagship Freedom, they had been hiding behind Earth's moon, waiting for the aliens to land. Ridge Team reports the aliens are retreating, said an officer. They're returning to their ships. Perfect, said General Kim. All ships attack formation, target their engines first. The Earth fleet moved out from behind the moon, taking the alien ships by surprise. Using weapons based on alien technology, they fired at the enemy vessels still in orbit. On the ridge, Jiwoo and her team emerged from cover. They aimed their weapons directly at the alien commander as he rushed toward his ship. Maximum power, ordered Jiwoo. All their weapons fired, at once, combining sound waves and energy beams in a focused attack. The alien commander's helmet finally cracked, then shattered completely. He fell to his knees, his exposed face turning dark as Earth's air touched his skin. But before he died, he looked at Jiwoo with surprise and something like respect. How? He gasped. How did you adapt so quickly? Because this is our home, she replied, and we will do whatever it takes to protect it. In space, the battle continued. The Earth fleet was smaller, but they had surprise on their side. They damaged several alien ships before the rest began to retreat. They're running, reported an officer on the Freedom. Let them go, said General Kim. Let them tell their leaders what happened here. On the ridge, Jiwoo watched as the remaining alien ships took off, leaving their dead behind. Daeho's voice came through on her radio. Good work, Captain. We've won this battle. But not the war, she replied, looking up at the sky where the alien ships were now just distant lights. No, agreed Daeho. But we've shown them something important today. What's that? Asked Jiwoo. That humans don't give up, that we learn and adapt, that Earth will never be an easy conquest. As the sun set over the ridge, Jiwoo and her team gathered the alien technology left behind. Each piece would help them prepare for the next battle. Each secret they uncovered would make them stronger. The Galactic Empire had laughed from the ridge, looking down on the humans they thought were weak and primitive. Then their helmets had shattered like glass, teaching them a lesson they would not soon forget. Earth was not defeated. Humanity was just beginning to fight back. 5 years passed since the Battle of the Ridge. Earth had changed in ways no one could have imagined before the aliens came. Cities were rebuilt with a mix of human and alien technology. The night sky glowed with the lights of Earth's new defense. Stations, Dr. Hajun Lee stood in his new laboratory in the United Nations Science Center in New York. The building had been destroyed during the first invasion, but was now rebuilt larger and more advanced than before. Through the large windows he could see ships taking off and landing, some fully human-made, others built with technology taken from the aliens. The Empire will return, he said to the room full of world leaders. Our victory bought us time, but they will come back stronger. General Yejun Kim, now the head of Earth's Global Defense Force, nodded in agreement. How long do we have? Based on what we learned from their computers, their home system is 20 light-years away, said Dr. Lee. Their ships can travel at 5 times the speed of light. so they've had time to return home, report their losses, and prepare a new fleet. When will they arrive? Asked a leader from Europe. Any day now, replied Dr. Lee. Our deep space sensors have detected large objects moving toward our solar system. We believe it's their main battle fleet. Captain Jiwoo Kang, now Colonel Kang and head of the newly formed Extraterrestrial Intelligence Division, stepped forward. Her face showed new scars from the battles she had fought. We've learned a lot from the alien databases we captured, she said. The Empire has conquered hundreds of worlds, but always using the same approach. They rely on their superior technology and the fear it creates. They've never faced a species that found their weakness so quickly. What about their armor? Asked Commander Daeho Park. Will our sound weapons still work? They will have fixed that weakness by now, said Dr. Lee. But while they were studying our sound weapons, we were studying their entire technology. We've made advances they won't expect. He pressed a button, and a hologram appeared above the table. It showed new ships and weapons, all built using a mix of human innovation and alien science. 5 years ago, we could barely damage their smallest ships, he continued. Now we have weapons that can match their largest battle cruisers, and we have something they don't have. What's that? Asked General Kim. Dr. Lee smiled. Creativity. The Empire has conquered so many worlds so easily that they've stopped innovating. They use the same tactics, the same weapons, the same approach, every time. We've studied their past conquests. They never adapt until after they fail. Colonel Kang nodded, and by then it's too late. The meeting ended with final preparations for Earth's defense. Ships moved into position around the planet and throughout the solar system. Ground-based weapons were readied. The people of Earth waited. 3 days later, the alien fleet arrived. It was massive. Hundreds of ships, far more than the first invasion. They took position just beyond the moon, a show of force meant to frighten Earth into surrender. In the Global Command Center, General Kim watched the alien ships on the main screen. They're sending a transmission, reported Captain Sujin Kim. Put it through, ordered the general. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed an alien much larger than those they had seen before. His armor was more elaborate, with symbols of high rank. People of Earth, the alien began, his words translated by the computers. I am Supreme Commander Zortak of the Galactic, Imperial Fleet. Your resistance 2 years ago was impressive but futile. You cannot hope to stand against our full might. General Kim stepped forward to respond. We defended our world once. We will do so again. The alien made a sound like harsh laughter. What you faced before was a small scouting force. This is our main battle fleet. Surrender now, and some of your people will be allowed to live as servants of the Empire. We decline your offer, said General Kim calmly. Earth is not for sale. Or surrender. The alien's face showed anger. Then you will be destroyed. We have studied your sound weapons. Our new armor is immune to them. You have no other advantage. The transmission ended. The alien ships began to move toward Earth. All defense forces stand ready, ordered General Kim. Execute Operation New Dawn. Across the solar system, Earth's ships moved out from their hiding places. Some had been concealed behind planets. Others had been disguised as space debris. They were smaller than the alien ships, but faster and more maneuverable. The battle began in the space between Earth and the moon. The alien ships fired their powerful energy weapons, expecting to destroy Earth's defenses quickly. They were surprised when Earth's ships absorbed the energy using technology adapted from the aliens' own shields. They look confused, said Colonel Kang, watching from a command ship. They expected us to fall quickly. Earth ships fired back with weapons that the aliens had never seen before, a combination of their quantum technology and human innovation. The beams passed right through the alien shields as if they weren't there. Direct hit on their flagship, reported an officer. Their shields are down. In his ship, Supreme Commander Zortak watched in disbelief as Earth's forces damaged ship after ship in his fleet. Impossible, he said. How did they advance so quickly? They were primitives just 5 years ago. Sir, said his officer, they're using our own technology against us, but they've modified it in ways our scientists didn't think possible. Retreat, ordered Zortak. "We need to regroup and reassess." But as his ships tried to turn away, they found Earth vessels blocking their escape route. The humans had anticipated their move and positioned ships accordingly. "Your empire has conquered many worlds," came General Kim's voice over the communication system. "But you always underestimate those you consider primitive. That was your mistake with Earth." The battle lasted for hours. When it ended, half the alien fleet had been destroyed. The rest escaped, jumping to faster-than-light speed and disappearing into deep space. In the command center on Earth, cheers erupted as the alien fleet retreated. But General Kim and his senior officers remained serious. "They'll be back," said Dr. Lee, "with even more ships and better weapons." "And we'll be ready," replied Daeho. "We've proved something important today, that humanity can stand against the greatest power in the galaxy." "What now?" asked Colonel Kang. General Kim looked at the star map that showed systems beyond Earth's. "Now we take the fight to them. We've captured enough of their technology to build ships that can reach other stars." "You mean we go to other worlds?" asked Captain Sujin. "Yes," said the general. "First to help those the Empire has already conquered, then to find allies among the stars." Dr. Lee nodded in agreement. "The Empire has ruled through fear for thousands of years, but they've never faced a species like humans before, adaptable, creative, and determined." 1 year later, Earth launched its first true starship, named Unity. Built with technology from both humans and their former invaders, it could travel faster than any Imperial vessel. Its mission was to visit other conquered worlds and share the secret of how Earth had defeated the Empire. Commander Daeho Park stood on the bridge of the Unity as it prepared to leave Earth's orbit. Colonel Ji-Woo Kang and Captain Sujin Kim stood beside him, along with scientists led by Dr. Lee. "5 years ago, we were fighting for survival," said Daeho to his crew. "Today, we begin a new chapter in human history." The ship's engines came to life, creating a blue glow around the vessel. "The Empire thought we would be an easy conquest," continued Daeho. "They laughed at our defenses. Then their helmets shattered like glass when they faced human determination and creativity." He looked out at the stars that would soon become their path. "Now we take that same spirit to the stars, not as conquerors like the Empire, but as liberators and explorers. Today, humanity joins the galactic community not as slaves, but as equals." The ship accelerated, becoming a streak of light as it left the solar system behind. Earth had survived its trial by fire. Now it would help others do the same. The Galactic Empire had ruled through fear for millennia, but they had never encountered humans before. And that had made all the difference. The end.